Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We have more gaming and PlayStation news, rumours and leaks to go over. Huge shout out to the God of War and Uncharted channel members. And if you enjoyed today's video, please show your support by hitting that like button. Just to add, I will be streaming tomorrow night for the Summer Game Fest, so keep an eye on the channel for further updates. Right then, there's been a long-standing question amongst fans of Red Dead Redemption 2. Why hasn't Red Dead Redemption 2 received a proper PlayStation 5 upgrade? It's one of Rockstar's most critically acclaimed open world games and one of the greatest games ever made. But up to now, it's only been playable on the PlayStation 5 through backward compatibility. That means no native support for better frame rates or higher resolutions or other visual upgrades that modern consoles can handle unless you're playing on a very high-end PC. But that looks like it's about to change. And according to a well-known industry insider, NateTheHate, a native next-gen version of Red Dead Redemption 2 is in the works, and I reported on this a couple of weeks back actually, where there were other rumors flying around that the Red Dead Redemption 2 next-gen patch is actually happening. It's going to happen. On his podcast, he confirmed, this is NateTheHate, on his podcast, he confirmed what many fans have been hoping for, saying directly those rumors are in fact true. He added that the update won't just be limited to the PlayStation 5 and Xbox consoles, but that the game is also heading to the upcoming Nintendo Switch too. That is a surprising twist considering how demanding the game is. Now, NateTheHate claims that the next-gen versions of Red Dead Redemption 2 will arrive a few months after the launch of the Switch 2. That timeline puts the upgrade somewhere in the late summer to early fall window of 2025. That potential upgrade makes a lot of sense. Rockstar already updated GTA 5 for modern consoles, and Red Dead Redemption 2 deserves the same treatment, especially considering its cinematic world design and heavy focus on realism. Plus, with more gamers picking up PlayStation consoles with a recent reduction in pricing, it's the perfect time for the game to make a proper transition. So far, the reports have been pretty consistent. In addition to NateTheHate, other industry insiders and sources have independently reported that the next-gen console update to Red Dead Redemption 2 is indeed in development for PlayStation 5 and Xbox consoles, adding further credibility to this report. Nate has a track record of getting the vast majority of things right too. He correctly predicted when the Switch 2 would be revealed and which Xbox titles would eventually make their way to the PlayStation platform. If you've been holding off on revisiting Arthur Morgan's story or experiencing it for the very first time, this next-gen update might be worth waiting for. Are you excited about a true PS5 version of Red Dead Redemption 2 finally becoming a reality? Can you imagine how good the PlayStation 5 Pro version is going to look? Let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments down below, and let's move on. MindsEye. For various reasons, for some people it's proving to be quite a divisive game. For others, it's one of 2025's most anticipated games. It's not officially out until June the 10th, but that hasn't stopped physical copies from slipping into the hands of early buyers. As is often the case with major releases, some retailers have jumped the gun and started selling the game ahead of schedule. That means some players have already got the game and are diving into playing the game days before the rest of the world. One early buyer, a user known as Mr. Hazel88 on X, has already confirmed that he got his hands on the game. He claims he'll be careful not to post story spoilers, but plans to talk about how the game performs. Still, his early access means gameplay footage and impressions could start circulating online, possibly spoiling the experience for other players. The game's developers, Build a Rocket Boy, has responded to the situation with a public statement. They acknowledge that early copies are out and have asked players not to post any narrative spoilers. They also reminded everybody that the game hasn't received its important day one patch yet. This update, they said, will include key fixes and polish that better reflect the game as it was meant to be played. Here's what they actually went on to say. We want to highlight that a major update for physical copies will be coming at release, bringing key improvements to ensure MindsEye plays as we intended and to meet all the characters at their very best. This leak comes at an awkward time. The game has had some mixed previews recently, and just last week, two of the studio's senior top executives have left unexpectedly just before the game is about to launch. That's caused some concerns for fans who were already cautious about what to expect. With early gameplay now circulating, there is risk that players might judge the game without its full polish in place. Even so, there is still time for MindsEye to turn things around. Now, if rumours are to be true, there will be more gameplay revealed at the Summer Game Fest this Friday. And just a few days after that, the full launch will give players a chance to experience the game as it was intended, complete with its campaign, world building tools and monthly content updates. And as I understand, the world building tools are for PC only, so be advised on that aspect of the game unless we hear otherwise at the Summer Game Fest this Friday. Now, the studio ended its statement on a hopeful note saying, "Thank you for being part of the journey with us. We can't wait for you to experience MindsEye at launch and explore the main campaign and game creation system we've crafted for you." So while this bumpy pre-launch isn't ideal, MindsEye still has a chance to impress once the full version is out in the wild. What are your thoughts, guys, on MindsEye? Reading through many of the comments over the past couple of weeks on the channel, I think a lot of people are on the fence. They're 50-50 about this game and just want to see more gameplay before actually committing to whether they want to buy the game or give it a miss. So just to let you guys know, this is one game that I will be streaming on the channel live on launch day, so if you want to see what the gameplay is like, be sure to check out the stream and perhaps that can help you decide whether the game is right for you or not. Anyway, let's move on. If you thought the Silent Hill 2 remake was finished content-wise, think again. According to a trusted industry insider, a new DLC for the game is on the way, and it's based on a fan favorite expansion from the original game. The DLC in question is reportedly called Born from a Wish, a side story that was part of the extended edition of the original Silent Hill 2 game. It gave players a deeper look into the game's mysterious world and followed a secondary character's journey. Now, it looks like this story is coming back for the remake. The information comes from Dusk Golem, a name familiar to many fans of horror games and leaks in general. He's built a bit of a reputation for being relatively accurate when it comes to Silent Hill related news and Resident Evil games, and he claims the Born from a Wish DLC is 100% happening. So he also mentioned that the announcement will be coming soon, but didn't say exactly where or when. Given the timing, it could appear during the Summer Game Fest or even the upcoming Xbox showcase, especially if an Xbox version of the game is also being announced. This is exciting news for fans who've already completed the main game and want more of the eerie atmosphere and psychological horror that Silent Hill is known for. Adding content from Born from a Wish gives new players a reason to dive deeper into the game and gives longtime fans something nostalgic to look forward to, only now with a fresh coat from modern graphics and audio. And we also have the PlayStation 5 Pro patch to be fixed or updated properly, which we hope is announced alongside the DLC. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about the DLC, or if you plan on picking up Silent Hill 2 Remake if you haven't already done so. As I understand it, it's around 40% off right now in the UK across most major outlets. So let's move on. Let's talk about something that's been quietly bothering a lot of PlayStation users for a little while, and that is variable refresh rate, or VRR for short. This feature has been available on the PlayStation 5 for some time now, and it's supposed to help your games look and feel smoother, especially when they're not running at a locked frame rate. But for months, it hasn't quite worked the way it should have until now. VRR is a technology that allows your console and TV to work together to adjust the screen's refresh rate based on how many frames per second the game is delivering. So if a game dips from 60 frames per second to 55 frames per second, your screen will adjust to match that drop instead of showing visual stutters or tearing. In simple terms, it helps make gameplay feel smoother even when the frame rate isn't perfect. Historically, without VRR, the smoothest gameplay came from games locked at either 30 or 60 frames per second, syncing up perfectly with your TV's refresh rate. But with VRR, a game can bounce around between frame rates like 50 to 60 and still feel stable and responsive on screen. That is the magic of VRR when it works right. The problem though is that PlayStation's implementation of VRR hasn't been completely reliable. Over time, many players started noticing micro stutters, small but distracting visual hiccups that took away from the smooth experience that was supposed to be delivered with effective VRR implementation. These weren't huge drops in performance, but enough to be noticeable, and if you're sensitive to frame rate or motion, then you would notice these changes. For quite some time, people across gaming forums like Reddit and Reset Era were reporting these issues. Some thought it might be related to how certain TVs handled the feature, while others blamed specific games. But one common belief was that something about the way PS5 handled VRR was flawed at the system level. Then came the recent PS5 firmware update. It was one of those quiet updates that doesn't list everything in detail but mentions some general improvements, specifically to usability on some screens. That vague phrase didn't actually mean much at first, but soon after the update rolled out, something changed. Now, Digital Foundry, one of the most respected tech analysis outlets in gaming, took a deeper look and confirmed what many users had started noticing, that the VRR issues seemed to be gone. Players reported that after the update, those pesky stutters and dips disappeared. The feature now seemed to work as originally promised, delivering smoother gameplay even when frame rates dropped a little bit. Now, to be clear, we're still waiting on full technical breakdown from sources like Digital Foundry to give the final verdict, but early impressions are looking good. The update didn't just improve compatibility with certain displays, it looks like Sony may have finally addressed the core issue with VRR on the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro. Sony hasn't publicly explained the root cause of the bug, and they've been relatively quiet about how they fixed it, but whatever they did behind the scenes, the results are quite promising. Let me know if you've noticed a big difference to your gaming with this update. So let's move on to the state of play from last night. I streamed this on the channel for the very first time and had the pleasure of having a few of the channel regulars join me on the live stream. So thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate your viewership last night. So the stream went out last night on the channel for the very first time, and that's me actually streaming, talking face to face with the screen, as it were, rather than playing games on a live stream, because I have streamed games before on the channel. They're available in the playlist if you ever wanted to check them out. And to be honest, it's far easier to stream gameplay than actually talking to a screen during a live stream. And it started off with problems galore. I had issues with music being too loud, echoes from the sound and mic, the camera froze at one stage, and just general things that could have gone wrong. But glad to say, by the time the PlayStation State of Play started, we were good. The stream is available to see in the playlist. If you want to go back and check out last night's State of Play, please do so. It's available on the channel. Actually really enjoyed the stream itself, and the actual State of Play was pretty decent as well. And going forward on the channel, I will be setting up a regular PlayStation podcast. It will take place every Sunday evening, probably around 7 PM UK time. Don't quote me on the time just yet. I'm still working to finalize a few things and will confirm at a later date, but keep an eye on the channel for further updates. And of course, I'll be streaming the Summer Game Fest this Friday and the Xbox Showcase on Sunday. So about that State of Play. So this PlayStation event from last night featured a mix of games offering gamers a look at what's coming up in the near future. One of the biggest reveals came from Arc System Works, a studio behind Guilty Gear series. They're now working on a new Marvel-themed fighting game exclusively for the PlayStation 5. Full details are still to be shared, but the reveal itself at the State of Play has got people excited about this game. Square Enix also made the headlines with the official announcement of an enhanced remaster of Final Fantasy Tactics. The game, originally released in the late 90s, is being updated with modern visuals while retaining its deep political storyline. Yasumi Matsuno, who is the original writer, returns to give the game new life. Matsuno mentioned that the story, inspired by Japan's economic collapse in the 1990s, still resonates today in a world facing inequality and division. Veteran staff members like director Kazutoyo Meihiro and art director Horishi Minagawa are also back, ensuring the remaster stays true to its roots while benefiting from modern updates. The game is set to release September 2025. And another standout reveal, my highlight for the night, was 007 First Light, an origin story for James Bond, developed by IO Interactive, the team behind the Hitman series. And looking at this gameplay, honestly, it looked like Hitman crossed with the Uncharted series. It looked phenomenal. Certainly, like I said, my highlight of the night and one of my most anticipated games. Now, Bond is portrayed as a 26-year-old agent, and the game is going to be optimized for the PlayStation 5 Pro. We don't really have much details about the game at this stage, other than it's an origin story, and James Bond will have to work up through the ranks to earn his 00 status. We are supposed to see more gameplay revealed at the Summer Game Fest, so more on this over the next few days. Fans of Ghosts of Yotei were treated to a very brief teaser confirming that a full gameplay showcase is scheduled for July 2025. The teaser didn't show much, just the protagonist Atsu in a quiet scene with her wolf companion, it's expected that the full gameplay reveal will expand on the stealth elements teased so far in the trailers that we've seen. The game is slated to launch on the 2nd of October, so keep an eye out for the July PlayStation event and potentially other games being featured during that same event too. Team Ninja revealed Nioh 3, the latest entry in the challenging action RPG series. The new game features a main character blending the traditional samurai combat with a new ninja style for greater gameplay variety. The environments are also getting an upgrade with larger open areas designed to provide more freedom and immersion. And whilst the game is set for early 2026, a playable demo is available right now on the PlayStation 5 for a limited time only. Puzzle fans have something to look forward to with Lumines Arise, a new version of the block-dropping game, redesigned with eye-catching visuals for PlayStation 5. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection was also unveiled, offering a compilation of classic Mortal Kombat games for both PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Fans of retro fighting games will no doubt be excited to relive the series' brutal origins. Now, during the State of Play, Sony also revealed a new hardware accessory with an official wireless fighting stick for PlayStation 5 and PC, catering to competitive fighting game enthusiasts, which definitely reminds me of the old style arcade games where you'd go to an arcade and you stand there button bashing to Street Fighter and Double Dragon. Fantastic. Depending on the price of this thing, I might be tempted to pick this up, especially if I'm playing Tekken or Street Fighter. Suda51, the creative mind behind No More Heroes, announced a stylish new title called Romeo is a Dead Man. I actually thought this was pretty decent. The game is full of eccentric visuals and offbeat energy fans have come to expect from this developer. Bloodstained, the Scarlet Engagement, a new entry in the Gothic action RPG series, leans heavily into dark fantasy anime style and is headed to PlayStation 5. Another surprise came with Legacy of Shadow, a new Thief game designed specifically for PlayStation VR2. It marks a return for the classic stealth franchise, but now in immersive virtual realities. Another game that features just hands and no arms. I don't understand why that is the case with VR games. Why can't you have full arms? I don't get it. Somebody help me out here, guys. Anyway, free-to-play fans will want to keep an eye on Sea of Remnants, a pirate-themed RPG that promises cooperative gameplay and a rich world to explore. Tides of Tomorrow was another highlight, a game that focuses on telling a narrative-driven story through multiplayer. It aims to deliver a unique experience when it launches in 2026. We also had Capcom, who reintroduced Pragmata, which was originally revealed 5 years ago in 2020, but it hadn't been seen since. This latest trailer, captured on the PlayStation 5 Pro, shows gameplay that mixes puzzle solving, third-person shooting, and traversal. The player character, Diana, wields mysterious powers to aid in navigating the game's challenges. After years of speculation about this game's status, Pragmata is now finally confirmed to release in 2026. Another anticipated title is Silent Hill F, set to release September 25th, 2025. Developed for the PlayStation 5 with enhancements for the PS5 Pro, the game is set in 1960s Japan and promises detailed visuals and atmospheric horror. Konami is aiming for a consistent frame rate and high-resolution graphics to enhance the experience. Really looking forward to Silent Hill F. Enjoyed the snippet of gameplay we saw at the State of Play, hoping to see more over the course of the week during the Summer Game Fest. Digimon Storytime Stranger has locked in an October release, bringing a new chapter to the Digimon universe for PlayStation 5 fans. The quirky walking simulator, which had me in stitches, Baby Steps, finally got a release date for September, adding a humorous twist to the adventure genre. Astrobot is also getting fresh content with more free DLC challenge levels coming next month to keep fans engaged with the game. The mountaineering game, Khan, was also featured as well, offering a November release date. A demo is already available on the PlayStation 5. And on the PlayStation Plus side of things, Sony announced a robust lineup of games coming to the premium and extra tiers in June and July. We have classic games like Myst, Raven, Deus Ex, and Twisted Metal 3 and 4 that are making a return. Capcom's remakes of Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 are also joining the service this summer. Newer titles coming to the game catalogue include Sword of the Sea, and FBC Firebreak from Remedy. Recent additions to the service include Another Crab's Treasure, Skull and Bones, Destiny 2 Legacy Collection, and Grand Theft Auto 3 The Definitive Edition. Konami gave fans a more detailed look at its upcoming remake of a classic, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. The trailer revealed the variety of stealth and disguise mechanics that players can use as Snake before transitioning into intense boss battles that fans of the original game will remember. Also teased was the fan favourite Snake vs Monkey minigame, making a return for both PC and PlayStation 5 players. The Easter egg adds a bit of humour and nostalgia to an otherwise intense tactical game. The remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 was first announced in 2023 after years of speculation. Konami has partnered with Virtuos, a developer with experience on projects like The Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. They've kept the story untouched to preserve the original's intent, but have overhauled the controls to support a more modern style of gameplay. Players can switch between a modern and classic control system based on their preference. Built using Unreal Engine 5, this remake significantly improves visuals with intricate character models, detailed facial animations, and lifelike environments. Konami promises a much more immersive experience compared to the PlayStation 2 original. PC players got more clarity too, with system requirements confirming the need for decent hardware. Now, the full specs I've listed down below in the description, but to give you a brief overview, as a minimum you're going to need 16GB of RAM, a modern graphics card like the RTX 2060 Super at minimum. However, the recommended specs include an RTX 3080 for the full visual experience. Either way, an SSD is strongly suggested for smooth gameplay performance. Coming to PlayStation 5 this August is Sword of the Sea, a game that feels like a spiritual successor to Journey. With stunning visuals and serene gameplay, players traverse vast landscapes on a hovering board, blending exploration with light puzzle solving. It's visually arresting and designed for an emotional, immersive experience. Also announced was Horigami, a colourful platformer arriving in September that gives off a major tearaway vibe. Using a unique paper-themed art style, the game offers creative traversal mechanics and an engaging world filled with charm. It aims to strike a balance between puzzle solving and platforming, making it approachable for all players of all ages. July 31st is when Ninja Gaiden Ragebound comes to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Known for its punishing combat, this latest installment looks to retain the series' high-skill gameplay while improving responsiveness and graphical fidelity. Now, Pac-Man will be making a guest appearance in Everybody's Golf Hotshots on PlayStation 5. It's a fun, unexpected crossover that adds more character and humor to the laid-back golfing experience. For fans of themed hardware, the popular Astrobot-inspired DualSense controller is making a return. Known for its vibrant design and responsive features, it's a collector's item for fans of the PlayStation 5's lovable mascot. So that is a breakdown of, I think, the vast majority of games and equipment hardware shown during the PlayStation State of Play. As I've mentioned earlier in the video, the State of Play is on the channel. If you want to go back and watch it for yourself, please do so. If you did watch yesterday's event, how did you find it, guys? What are your overall thoughts? If you had to score it out of 10, what would you give it? I thought it was okay. I would score it a 7 out of 10 personally, which I think is a decent score. A lot of games for everyone and a few big games in there too. And finally, just to close the video on a more somber note, Ubisoft has officially pulled the plug on Xdefiant. It's a free-to-play first-person shooter. After launching in May 2024, the game struggled to build a consistent player base, and despite unique choices like avoiding skill-based matchmaking in favor of old-school arcade-style gunplay, it never managed to gain the traction Ubisoft had hoped for. Back in December 2024, Ubisoft announced plans to wind down support, citing the unsustainable effort required to keep it running. Executive producer Mark Rubin noted that while free-to-play games often need time to find success, Xdefiant's journey had simply become too difficult to continue. A significant number of team members were reassigned within Ubisoft, but the project ultimately concluded with the servers shutting down and approximately 300 layoffs company-wide. A small crew remained to keep things running until the final closure. Once again, another live service online multiplayer game closed down and devs are laid off. When are companies going to learn to stop chasing trends and start to innovate? On that note, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments about the content discussed today, and I will catch you tomorrow on the live stream for the Summer Game Fest. Have a good one.